Good evening, everyone. My name is Tom Randers. I live in 25E with my wife, Sue. We've been full-time residents since 2014. And when we first came down here, we were just going to retire, hang out, and not do anything. That changed abruptly when Sue got me involved in beautification. And I went then from beautification to bocce, to planning, to board of directors, and many other things that happen here. I've been the vice president on the board for a year, and I was the secretary on the board for a year. We came into office 2 years ago when COVID hit, and the board had many, many things to do to keep our place safe and happy, and I think we did an excellent job doing that. The second year was a much better year. We got things accomplished. We got the garbage cans in, and we got the garbage out of the ground, which I think we worked on for 4 years in the planning committee, and that was one of our major accomplishments. My background, I have a master's degree at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Health Services Management, and my last 10 years of work for the New York City Department of Health, I was a support services administrator, making sure that all the health centers in New York City got the supplies they needed. And I ran a 75,000 square foot distribution center, a garage, and a print shop. Like I said, I was board of directors for 2 years, planning committee for 5 years, bocce for 5 years. I've done a lot, and I'd like to keep going. And my plan for the future is to make sure that this place is kept up, safe, and what I'd like to see happen is that new people come here so we can get younger instead of older. Since I'm getting old, we're all getting old, and maybe it's time to pass the torch in a couple of years. And I would appreciate your vote. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, I'm Ron Longo. I was previously on the board of directors from March of 2015 to March of 2021. I was Florida State certified for condominiums, served on the Finance Committee, Salary Review Committee, Resolutions and Documents Committee, House Committee, and Shop Committee. For those of you that don't know me, let me tell you a little bit about myself. My wife Donna and I have been coming to Monterey since 1980. My in-laws lived here from 1989 to 2020. Before that, her aunt and uncle lived here from 1978 to 2005. We purchased our condo in April of 2004. From 1973 to 1986, I owned and maintained multiple family apartment buildings and homes, along with remodeling and building them. This makes me very familiar with buildings and grounds maintenance, including all the trades. For 29 years, I worked for the city of Syracuse, serving as a painting supervisor, running a crew of 15 men. I scheduled and assigned projects, estimated projects, dealt with various vendors, and ordered materials. Let me say, no one should be listening to gossip about what's going on in Monterey. And that's just what it is as far as I'm concerned, gossip. Anyone concerned should be going to the workshop meetings where they can ask questions to our board and actually see what's happening with their money. Someone recently asked me what my vision was. Well, for 6 years that I was on the board, I took the path of voting and approving of various projects and was also hands-on with many of them. To name a few, installing the railings on the dock, the old docks that used to be in there, the walkway alongside the yacht club, lighting around the yacht club, remodeling the yacht club kitchen, installation of the pool deck, installation of AstroTurf on the bocce ball court, installation of the patio deck behind the yacht club, as well as others. I worked for months with Martin County and the city of Stewart to have the crosswalk installed on Palm City Road going to the yacht club. Also dealt with contractors, city and county engineer departments on projects such as the yacht club culvert and ponds. I was instrumental in finding contractors to bid on projects being done in Monterey. Even though I'm no longer on the board, I'm still involved with contractors trying to save our residents money. Just recently, I had 3 streetlights repaired that belonged to FPL, which were out for over 2 years on the left side of the yacht club driveway. So if I have to answer the question, what's my vision? It would be to restart down that path again, such as doing things that are essential for Monterey 50-year-old infrastructure. Before something major happens, it'll cost all of us. But in my opinion, visions are just words. My actions speak louder than words. I was always available for any time.
My name is Diane McIntyre, and I live in 29E, and I've lived here for about 11 years. My history is that I'm a nurse, and I've worked for about 45 years. Thank God I'm not working anymore. In my past, I was a staff nurse, a nurse manager, a director of nursing of a 204-bed facility. I had my own consulting company, and also worked for 2 consulting companies out of New York State. That's my past. It's important to note that during that time frame, I was able to develop management skills and human resource skills. I'd like to think that my best accomplishment is not my career and not being a board of director. My best accomplishment in life is being a wife and a mother and a grandmother. And I don't want to forget my 2 grandsons because they'll tell me about it. Or not grandsons, son-in-laws, okay? Now let's talk about what we've accomplished here as a board. One thing I'd like to explain is there is no one person on the board. The board consists of 7 people, and it means that 7 people have to work together cooperatively to get anything done. And it's important for you all to recognize that. We all have specialties that we bring to the board, but it actually takes 7 brains to do it. I don't think I said that last time. I started on the board of the directors when COVID hit the United States and the whole world. As a board, we worked cooperatively together to ensure the safety of all of our residents, and we developed protocols so that we could continue to have some kind of activities throughout the year. These protocols were really developed in a very limited basis. For an example, we only had 7 people allowed in the pool at any given time, and every board member needed to sit at the pool to monitor to see that we didn't have more than that, because we were very concerned about the spread of COVID. In addition, we developed a protocol that said we'd be willing to help anyone who actually developed COVID and needed any help for their health. This protocol actually was used a number of times. Under the protocol, we said that we would buy groceries for folks, take out the garbage for folks, make phone calls so that we could daily check on them. And there was one other thing we did. It was something just as important. Oh, and we took clothes to the hospital. Thank you for listening. We took clothes to the hospital for people who actually were admitted. We still do the same thing for people with breakthrough cases right now. We make a phone call to them, and we ensure that they have food and anything that they need. So as this board, I feel very proud that we were able to do that. Also, a communication committee was developed at the time frame that this board has been in process. It's a matter of a communication system that was improved upon by using email, updating Channel 63, and making a video like this, even though, Chris, it's the second time I'm doing it. This is an opportunity for everyone to actually sit in your home and watch and hear what's going on, no matter if you live in Monterey or if you live in New Jersey or Syracuse or Timbuktu. So please, we encourage you to please watch the Board of Directors meetings and the workshop meetings and any other meetings that are being televised. Right now, we're in the process of evaluating cable systems. As you all know, we have Xfinity. We've had them for a number of years, and their contract is coming due. So we're doing research at the present time to look at a different company, and you'll get more information in that when you come to the workshop. So please, everybody feel good about coming to the workshop. One of the other things that we were able to do, which I feel is very successful, most of you are aware who've been here for a number of years that we've worked understaffed for a very long time. We were able to add one staff person without adding any monies to the operating budget. So you should be saying to yourself, how'd you do that? Well, we did it because we did our research. We met with our insurance company, found out what the community standard was, matched that community standard with what our brothers and sisters in the area, and by doing that, we were able to add one full-time staff person. I think that we, as a board, are very proud of that. It's always been difficult to find monies for new staff. The other thing, I would really like to be involved with the search committee. We all know Chris is leaving, and I think it's important that we start to think about it now and develop a search committee that consists of both residents and board members. Chris is going to be a tough act to follow, and we need people that can think outside the box to see if we can figure out how do we replace Chris with another Chris. These are just some of the highlights of what the board has done for these last 2 years. But again, I think it's important for everybody to recognize that it's not just one person on the board. It takes 7 people to do it, and a lot of volunteers, and we appreciate that very much. One other thing that I hope the board focuses on, even if I'm not on the board, is solar energy for next year, because we live in the Sunshine State, and I think it's an opportunity that we're missing. So I would really like people to do, the board to do research on this. I appreciate you all coming tonight and listening first to the first little spiel and to the second little spiel. So again, I would appreciate your vote. Thank you very much.
Okay, here we go. My wife, Marion, and I bought our condo in 1998. We're a resident from early to October 10th, early May, and graduated from high school in 1967, since 1924. Nah, I better not do that. Let me do it this way. I always like to start off something like that so I break the ice so everybody stays awake. Okay, first I'll go through my background in real life. I was a volunteer fireman for still 51 years. I'm still a member of the department. 51 years it's been. I started when I was 10, so that's for that. I'm still a trustee for the fire department. I'm also in charge of the golf tournament. I'm in charge of the Length of Service Awards program, tax abatement forms. Okay, so I'm pretty active in the fire department. Also the Lions Club International. If anybody, and this is I'm not going to read this thing, but it's something, if anybody's been in the Lions Club, they'll know that I just received an award. It's called the Melvin Jones Award. Okay, I don't know if anybody knows what that is, but I'll quote it. It's a humanitarian service to the highest degree. I feel honored for that. I just recently received that last year from our Lions Club. I think it's a very good honor. Thank you. Yeah. All right, I'm a member of the American Legion Post 86, which they just made me the service officer. So I'm the service officer up there, and I'm in the color guard, so I'm pretty active up north when we're not down here. Okay, I'm involved in various activities down here. I've been involved in the beautification committee years ago when I was younger, and currently a starter in the bocce. We're running the bocce madness, so if anybody didn't sign up, I'm the co-coordinator for the March Madness, bocce. So Wally, TJ, and myself are the co-coordinators of this. So if anybody didn't sign up, we got 50 teams right now. So now's the time to sign up. All right?
Okay, let's see, what else? I put my notes over this way. Okay, I went back, I was on the board for 10 years. I'll get into that later. But I initiated, and I was very proud of this, initiated it a few years back. Let me take my glasses off, I can see better. Okay, there we go. Now, they're still selling them now, the enjoyment books. Myself and Leo Conley started that back I forgot when it was, a few years back. We started focus groups in Mora. I don't think they're continuing them. It's something you want to look into, Peggy. The board of workshop meetings, the background and credit checks. I started the workshop meetings, if anybody remembers that. Now they're continuing doing them. So I started that. The background checks and credit checks. They never had that before I came on the board. We did that. And I found something else, a tracking system for the owners that are late paying. Very simple. You take the envelope for how they mailed it. That's my experience with the Postal Service for 38 years. Don't hold that against me, though, please. Okay, and one thing that I'm very proud of is that delinquent order program. When I was first on the board, the delinquent owners, and I have the documentation on it, was $205,860 was owed to Monterey. Okay? And I was instrumental with Chris, naturally the attorney, and we pooled our resources together. And that was April 16, 2015. It was over $205,000. As of May 2020, it was $6,910. Okay? We did a lot of work and research on this with the attorney's help, of course, but we were on top of them constantly. So that was a savings of $198,000 that I think that we did a very good job on it, and I was very instrumental in that. Okay, let's see where we're here. Okay, my goal as a director is to continue to understand the rules and the laws of the statutes, not Florida State Statute 718, which I've read them, most of them. The the condo documents, I read those. The bylaws, I read those. And the rules and regulations, the resolutions, etc. And one thing that we did when I got on the board also was that all the resolutions stated the president was a voting member on every committee. So myself and another member, we went through every resolution and we took the president's name off as a member. They can come and advise different things, but they're not a voting member. Because I felt when I became president, there was too much power for one particular individual. So I think that was changed. And in ending, like I say, a couple things to remember. Selective enforcement, okay? Selective enforcement is everybody's treated equal. You can't say this gentleman here, can do this, you can't do that. And also, and I think I'm honest and sincere, excuse me. That was a typo. Sincere. Some people don't like the answers I give them, but it's the true answer, okay? And I do my research and so forth. And I think that with the 10 years I've had on the board, what the years were, let's see, what were they now? Let's see, yeah, I was 1 year as a vice president and 7 years as the president, up until 2020, okay? And I feel I want to try to make a comeback here and try to, and I think I could be a very good asset to this community with all the experience I have with the attorneys, the documents that I know, and also the accountant, because there's a lot of things that are going down the pike, and I'll just leave it at this. Okay, we got some hard decisions to make down the line, and I think I can be an asset to this community on that. The pool lift, the ponds, bulk cable, windows, railings, roofs, contracts, salary review. Let's see, what else is? And like Diane said, Chris Malpita is going to retire in 2.5 years, April 2024. This term runs from until March 2024. So I think with my experience with dealing with the attorneys, the accountants, et cetera, that we'd be part of that team to how we're going to hire somebody, because it's going to take a long time. Probably have to start in January. Thank you very much. Hope I have your support. Thank you.
My name is Kathy Mondello. I live in 30E. My husband Sam and I have been coming to Monterey since 1987. We purchased in 2009 and are very proud to call Monterey our home. I have served on many committees. I was the annual meeting coordinator, the director of social activities, property advisory, women's bocce, finance for a second time around. Sam and I shared Vegas night, spaghetti dinner, women's bocce luncheon. Sam helped on that. Bocce breakfast and fun days. I was the creator of Dancing and Under the Stars. Masterminded the clubhouse and yacht club remodel 6 years ago. I have been the bookkeeper for 2 family businesses, a gourmet manager for 3 years, administrative assistant 28 years, being a lead scheduler and trainer. The above employment provided me with a financial management and organizational skills background. I will listen to all and do my best to make a decision based on what is good for all of Monterey residents. My door will be open if you wish to reach out to me. My goal is to work with all board of directors and our property manager to preserve the quality of our grounds, structures, and lifestyle of Monterey. I would like the opportunity to serve on the board of directors. Your vote would greatly be appreciated. Thank you.
Nice to see so many people that came this evening. I live in building 49A. That is the same unit that my mom and dad bought in 1971. And so I have been coming down here, first, of course, as their guest with my daughter, and actually spending our vacations here because, honestly, it's the best I could afford. And I am very grateful for that. So not only Dad also served on the board. I can remember seeing him sitting out in the living room, his head down, and it was about 3 in the morning. And I knew probably he was contemplating something that had occurred in the board. Now, I haven't made 3 o'clock. I have made a little bit later. But in any event, it's been a very rewarding experience for me. And I can't read my resume, so bear with me. Anyway, I just said a little bit about my past. I am a retired physical therapist, graduating from school in Boston, Massachusetts, and then beginning a 40-year career at Children's Hospital Physical Therapy. I can honestly say it was a wonderful job. I had I was able to treat the children, and I can't tell you how rewarding that was. I also work with their parents, and as a single parent myself, I could appreciate somewhat what these parents were going through. I had the opportunity to teach at various colleges in their physical therapy programs. I also had the opportunity to travel internationally with a team talking about scoliosis, curvature of the spine. And I also was an administrator at the time. We had 35 all women, not so much now, all women physical therapists at Children's Hospital. Now, I began coming down here. I retired in 2008 and began coming down here more. I spent pretty much 9 months here, and then over the past, especially since the pandemic, have pretty much, this is my full-time residence. So with that, I was able to participate in many different committees as well. You've heard of everybody talk about the committees that they were able to serve on. And some of the ones that I have been able to be on, I was president of women's golf for 5 years. And actually, it was really a lot of fun. It was a very rewarding experience. I felt that way. I don't know how the women golfers felt, but anyway, I really did enjoy doing that. I also was a member of the Mixed Golf Committee and was the head of that. At the time, Mixed Golf consisted of 4 women officers, 1 man. And now I'm happy to say that mixed golf is now run by 3 men and other various officers. So that has come a long way. I have participated. I do try every sport. Don't do too well at any of them, but I do like bocce, water aerobics, Zumba, and I was a member of the 50th Anniversary Steering Committee and ended up being the MC of our 50th Anniversary dinner a couple of years ago. And that was also very, very rewarding. So with that experience, I ask for your consideration to continue my tenure on the board. I would like to continue to represent the interests of the community and the administration of the association. I will try to be objective in all discussions. I will try to facilitate open discussion of agenda items. I'd like to expedite, and fellow board members know that I do try to do this, expedite the decision-making process. I support and communicate the decisions of the board in a timely fashion. I will complete assignments as requested by the board president. And if you have any concerns yourselves as residents, please feel free to come talk to me. I have had the opportunity to talk to some residents in regard to perhaps some upcoming projects. I will identify, or certainly try, areas of concern affecting the community and recommend possible solutions. So, as all the members have said so far, the board is comprised of 7 members, and mostly it is the input from the community, however, that helps it run efficiently and make decisions. So, with that, I would entertain, when we're done, any questions or anything, and I thank you for coming. Thanks.
Having a name Swiderski, you do the cleanup, right? I want to thank everyone being here. It's a nice showing, and what really makes me proud, we have 7 candidates. Usually it's no candidates or 1. This makes me happy. 1, if most of you remember, Kay Millard, when she first bought here, my wife came down with her, which is her sister-in-law. My wife loved the place. Like most women, if they're happy, the men will have their hat hanging. I came down on vacation, and I loved the place. I think we came down 2 or 3 years. Like everybody else, we bought. So I'm going to make it short and direct. I'm not going to go into my personal life too much. If anybody wants, I'll gladly talk to them about that. But I'm feeling my resume is about Monterey. I have resided here for 18 years in 48B. I am an interested owner, and I've attended mostly all community and board meetings in that time. But most of all, knowing, I'm sorry, my eyes were not focusing too well. I had cataract, so I'm playing this by ear. Here we go. Board meetings in the time. But most of you know me or see me as a volunteer. I have helped with so many Monterey projects throughout the years, most recently assembling and delivering not only the trash boxes, but the stones that we need to base. And I don't want to take away from all the volunteers that help put these boxes together. I appreciate that. It saves a lot of work. I couldn't get the boxes out there fast enough. They were doing faster than me. And the load of the bricks. Bases. But assembled in 2020, all the new golf course benches mostly installed, and the bricks pavers that the benches now sit on. If you remember, all you people that bought these special benches, they look nice out there. And we put the blocks down. And I never forget when Chris said to me, well, I'm only putting what patio pool blocks we have. I ain't buying no more blocks. Well, you people told him you loved it so much. He said, how many more blocks? And we did it all, and it looks pretty out there. Sunny benches and so forth, and reading papers and everything. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep my eyes focused on what I'm doing here. Oh, repainting all the golf course boxes green. If you remember, we had the orange boxes painted by contractors, and they looked kind of not too happy. So I volunteered to paint them all green. And that was one of the projects I was doing. Repair storm damages from the last year's hurricane, and even mow the golf course grass when we had staff short. I volunteered to go out and cut the grass. It was an experience and an education. It's not like a lawnmower for your house. In addition, I have been a vice commodore of the Kayak and Canoe Club and mastered the first Hawaiian-themed pig roast, which was something I always looked forward to, having that pig roast. And I finally had my opportunity, and I think everybody enjoyed that. Also, my first Mardi Gras dance I put, New Year's Eve dance with Ron Longo. Hi, Ron, and thank you. One blank there, senior moment, and New Year's dance, and our first chili cook-off. I enjoy doing crazy things, but that's my way. Yes, I've been involved over a long time. Knowing the full operation of Monterey and understanding Monterey, and has been more important where Monterey needs to go, and I care greatly about our Monterey and would appreciate your vote and the opportunity to serve on the board. And I thank you. But I want to say two things. If Monterey is not pretty, I'm not happy. Now I have a little joke, and I'm just curious. How many people go to Chappie, the foot doctor? Okay. Well, last week I was there and actually get my nails done like most of us. And he says, "What are you reading?" He read my resume. And he said, "Tell your community I'm voting for him." Thank you.